want to thank everybody for being here this morning. Senator Young and I just left one meeting, and we're here, and we've got another meeting to go to in about an hour, and then she's got another appointment in Cattaraugus County. So we're going to kind of try to keep things moving along. We have recognized one issue that we're working on, and that's the acoustics in the room. But that's an issue that we will be addressing, so my apologies if it sounds a little echoing in here, but in the future it will not. I have a few comments I'm going to make, and then I'm going to call upon Mark Thomas from the Office of Parks and Recreation to make a few comments, and then the Senator would like to speak as well. Just to give you a little history of how we got to where we are today. In 1934, Mayor Andrew Carlson, and his trustees, Ira Davis, who happens to be the grandfather of our deputy mayor, Tim Jacobson, Edward Hitchcock, Chester Helgren, and George Summers, had a meeting in a back room at the offices of the Mayville Realty. The meeting was at 9:30 p.m. on August 9th in 1934. Now, you talk about 3 men in a room. That's really, 3 men in a room back then. Their purpose, however, was pure, and their vision was very, very clear. An opportunity was presented to these men for a substantial investment. There was a 12-acre parcel of land that had become available, and it was a vacant lakefront lot with 1,050 feet of lake frontage. With the advent of the electric refrigerator, the need for ice once harvested from Chautauqua Lake was in less demand. The Pittsburgh Ice Company, which was once a booming business in the Mayville area, employing many, many men during the winter months, was feeling the effects of this new modern appliance. Harvested ice, once shipped to Pittsburgh by rail, was becoming obsolete and no longer essential. The land owned by the Pittsburgh Ice Company was being offered for sale at a price of $6,000 for 12 acres of lakefront property. Mayor Carlson and his board wrestled with the notion of such an investment. $6,000 was a huge sum of money, considering the entire village budget in 1934 was $6,846.61. This was, in effect, 87% of the operating budget. You think about it, you couldn't touch this land today for $1 million, probably. Community sentiments were mixed, but the board forged on. Their vision, the vision of Mayor Carlson and his board, was to have a lake park of which Mayville would be proud. That's an exact quote from the minutes from 1934 from a board meeting. It was also stated in there that they wanted a place of beauty and recreation. Again, an exact quote, one which we have also incorporated into the bronze plaque. Prior to this purchase, it was noted in the board minutes that residents had to, quote, trespass across private property to gain access to the lake. The board had a second meeting on August 11th. Now, on the August 9th meeting, they voted to make the purchase. On August 11th, they had a second meeting, the purpose of which, and I quote, was to open the safe deposit box at the bank, from which the sum of $6,000 was to be removed and used to pay for the land purchase. There was no bonding, no loans, no lease, and no financing. It was a cash deal, and it was done during one of the hardest economic times in history. It was right in the middle of the Great Depression. I can only imagine the spirited conversations that must have ensued over this issue. We had a 42-year-old mayor who, along with his board, wanted to spend an amount equal to 87% of the village's operating budget on 12 acres of vacant land. Were they crazy? When you think about it, really, that was a heck of a risk that they took. They were really out there on a limb. Be it what it was, their vision was one of unimaginable relevance. Not only did they create a public park, by doing so, they created a venue for many community and private events, a place for memories to be made. Countless weddings, picnics, family reunions, class reunions, and July 4th celebrations have been held here. Essentially, they took care of the less fortunate, both then and now. Had it not been for the vision of Mayor Andrew Carlson, I venture to say that right now we would be on private property and we would once again be trespassing. There would be no park, no tennis courts, no basketball courts, no picnic pavilion, no playground, no ball field, no boat launch, no gazebo, and no venue for the July 4th celebration, the annual Ice Castle celebration, the Bluegrass Festival, and no place for the Chautauqua Bell to have a home in the summer and the winter months. Since 1934, several additional purchases have been made to further enhance the park. In 1936, the first bathhouse, the one that was recently torn down, was built, and that was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1,400 to build that. In 1968, they made a purchase from the Pendel Corporation of the old railroad depot, which is now part of the park property. And in 1985, the board purchased all the tracts and parcels of land from the trestle over Mud Creek all the way to Route 430 on the east side of the village, creating which is now about a 30-acre parcel with over 4,000 feet of lake frontage. How blessed are we to have this? We really don't know, because it's always been here. But let me ask you too, if Mayville would be what it is today without this park. On December 1st, 2008, I had the privilege to execute documents which consisted of a contract with the Office of New York State Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. These documents granted the village enough money to go forward with the project that we'd wanted to do for many, many years. None of this would have been possible without the dedication and commitment of Mark Thomas, former county executive and now director of the Western District of the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. Mark's support was an integral part of the facility becoming a reality. We thank you, Mr. Thomas. You really don't know how much this means to the community. Additionally, we've had continual support from our Senator, Kathy Young. Senator Young has always been very responsive to the needs of the community. She has been a person in touch with her district. Senator Young's letter was written with heartfelt compassion. Assemblyman Bill Parment equally supported our quest. In his letter, he outlines the potential economic development impact as well as the priorities outlined in the local waterfront revitalization plan, and he called it a logical course of action. Mr. Parment's a native of this community and a longtime elected official, and he was a great help during the process. County Executive Greg Edwards supported us, and he outlined the importance of tourism in our economy, the benefits provided by having a four-season facility, and the winter hub that Mayville has become for snowmobilers, skiers, and outside recreational activities. Chairman Keith Ahlstrom from the legislature stated that Mayville is the gateway to Chautauqua Lake and Chautauqua Institution. County IDA Director William Daly cites the fact that recreational activities constitute the second largest component of our local economy in terms of dollar impact and jobs created. I mean, let's face it, we're a tourism industry here. We really don't have anything other than tourism in this community. So we need to do things to build that up. The Mayville Chautauqua Chamber indicates that the community center is the next critical element under the village comprehensive plan. The Mayville July 4th Committee boasts attendance of 25,000 visitors to the annual celebration. and having this facility will permit them to enhance exhibits from veterans, historic, civic, and educational providers. This new facility also permits people who were previously prohibited from attending to come to the 4th of July celebration, because now we have a facility that's ADA compliant and accessible for those that need to use a facility. One person who deserves huge accolades is our very own Judge Dave Narducci. Mr. Narducci, outside of his capacity as the town judge, is also a retired engineer who graciously donated his talents to bring this project to reality. Mr. Narducci was on the board during the design stages and essentially created what you see here today. Not only did he spend countless hours at his computer, he was here every day of the project serving as clerk of the works. Even after having knee replacement, Dave created a daily activity log in unbelievable detail, complete with photographed and exact counts of the number of people on site from each of the trades that were working. He did so as a service to the community, and he never wavered during any of the process. To this day, he's still working tirelessly on our behalf, ensuring the punch list issues are dealt with, the billing is accurate, and the facility is operating as it should. Can't thank you enough, Dave. You took the bull by the horns and got the job done. The support of our current village board, Deputy Mayor Tim Jacobson, like I said, who's the grandson of Ira Davis, Trustee Rick Seiper, Warren Ramaker, and Jim Roach, Village Clerk John Crandall, Village Treasurer Joyce Matthews, DPW Superintendent John Buxton, Electric Supervisor Bill Thompson, and our Code Enforcement Officer Mike Brown. And each and every village employee who continue to show great pride in not only this project but the community as a whole, thank you very much. Because let's face it, I'm the mayor, but it's the people that work for you and work with you that make things happen. And without all these people working together, this wouldn't be a reality. So I may be standing up here talking right now, but you're the ones that deserve all the praise because you did all the hard work. Our village attorney, Mike Bolander, has worked diligently to secure grant funding for not only this project, he's also secured $82,000 for repairs on the old depot, and we have a trail grant of $519,000 that we're working very, very hard to try to get it to a point where we can start spending the money. Mike's efforts and his compassion have essentially benefited every person who lives, works, plays, or vacations in our village. He's been a true partner in our vision, and we owe him a great debt of gratitude. We continue to strive to enhance the open and free access to this park. We are currently working on a grant for a band shell. In fact, I handed Mr. Thomas a copy of the grant application this morning. Our vision now is to put a band shell down here to further enhance not only the Bluegrass Festival, but any other events that may want to come here. And like I said, this is what we're all about. It's tourism based, and we want to have those facilities. If the funding is secured, it will greatly contribute to the features offered here and will complement each and every current event, as well as generate potential future use. The 1934 board, along with Mayor Carlson, had a vision, and they most definitely had insight and forethought about the future of this community. On February 16th, the contractor moved on site here, and on July 4th, we had the first celebration, which was the July 4th national holiday. Since that time, there's been a continual awareness of the facility, and requests are still being made for reservations into this fall. It gives me great pride to officially name this facility the Carlson Community Center, as was passed by resolution by the village board on September 8th of this year. Andrew Carlson, family members of Andrew Carlson, thank you very much. The hard work that started in 1934 has allowed this community to have a gem. There are no words eloquent enough to pay tribute to this vision. Thank you again, and God bless everyone. We're going to, I'm going to call on Mr. Thomas now. He would like to make a few comments, and then we'll turn the program over to him.
Thank you, Marty, and all folks gathered here today. This is an exciting day in Mayville and in Chautauqua County. On behalf of Governor David Patterson and my boss, Commissioner Carol Ash, it is a joy to stand here this morning in this building, in this community of Mayville, a community that is continually demonstrated throughout history that it has roots deep in its past, but vision which keeps it moving forward and addressing the realities of not only the present, but the future. You have built an outstanding facility here. At State Parks, with our Environmental Protection Fund grants, which helped fund this particular project, we are able to help communities do exactly what Mayville has demonstrated it can do. It's an exciting opportunity that the grant funds are available to communities, but most communities never step forward like Mayville has to even seek those grant funds. And it is very special for us here in the Western District of State Parks, but also in the Allegheny region. My regional director, Mike Michnikowski, and Lynn Lefebvre, who administers the grant program for us here, who are tireless in their efforts to work with communities to make sure that we get these parks environmental protection funds into the hands of communities that can make a difference with them. So we look for communities that are able to not only have vision, but are willing to partner with us. And the third thing is that they get the projects done, and they get them done well. And when you drive by this facility here, you look at it from the road, it's stunning. It catches your eye. You want to pull in and see it. That's exactly what a recreation facility should be about. It should be a magnet to draw people in who just are curious or want to find out what Mayville has to offer. You captured that with the design of the building, and the fact that you put so much of your village workforce's time and effort into as part of the contribution to the financial effort is also a very good part of demonstration to State Parks, State of New York, that the community is engaged and involved in this and wants to put its own sweat equity into the projects as well. We truly want to thank you for being the tremendous partners you are in recreation service delivery for not only the generation that's here, but the generations that are going to come through here long after everyone in this room has moved on to another place. Thank you once again. We appreciate the commitment to providing community recreation services and facilities to make that happen in this community and in Chautauqua County. Thank you so much, and I guess it goes to our fine senator to have the next comments of the day. Senator Young.
Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you, Mayor, for those kind comments, and good morning, everybody. This truly is a great day for so many reasons, and I am so happy to be here in this beautiful facility. As a matter of fact, I was here, about a month or so ago, so I got a sneak preview. And I was totally amazed at that time about what a wonderful facility this actually is. You know, as you look around Chautauqua Lake, and Chautauqua Lake, as we know, is a tremendous asset to our region, but as you go around Chautauqua Lake, you realize that there aren't too many spots like this one where you have the open space and you have the public access. And so it was so important when Mayor Carlson got together with the three men in a room. I wish we had the same results in Albany. Unfortunately, we don't. But when the mayor got together and decided that this would be a good idea, and it was a tremendous risk at that time, and it did show common sense on his part, leadership and foresight to be able to take that risk and turn it into reality, and something that is such a wonderful thing for our entire community here. And but I would submit to you that our current mayor and our current board and our judge and Mike Bolander and everyone who works so hard to make this happen share those same qualities of foresight, common sense, leadership in order to get this done. And I want to personally thank you for that. And I also know that Mayor Carlson is smiling down on us today, knowing that his name will forever be here at this particular facility. And I want to give my special greetings to the Carlson family for being here today, for sharing with us, and also for having that wonderful ancestor who did so much for our community here. It just truly is wonderful. And congratulations to you. So, we're going to dedicate this, and this is going to continue to be a tremendous opportunity and for recreation here on Chautauqua Lake. You know, I travel all over New York State, and I can say to you that I represent the best district in New York State. We have the best people, we have the best communities. Today is just another great example of that fact. So my hat is off to you and everyone. I want to thank Mark personally for all of your hard work on this. The state legislature does work hard to make sure these funds are available through New York State, but it really was the people on the ground who made this happen, like Mark, like Marty, and everyone else. So thank you so much, congratulations, and I look forward to coming back here to many more events as those memories that the mayor spoke of continue to be made. So thank you so much for having me here today.
I'm going to read the plaque, and these are the words that we used in our resolution when we did this in September 8th. In 1934, Mayor Andrew Carlson, along with trustees Ira Davis, Edward Hitchcock, George Summers, and Chester Halgren, purchased this 12-acre parcel of lakefront property from the Pittsburgh Ice Company for the sum of $6,000. Their vision was to create a place of beauty and recreation. In 1936, approval of an additional expense totaling $1,105.80 was granted for the construction of a bathhouse. The 1936 bathhouse served the community for over 70 years and created many fond memories. In 1999, the village began actively pursuing funding sources for a new structure. After numerous attempts, funding was secured through the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, permitting the present building to be constructed. It was unanimously agreed that the forethought of Mayor Carlson and his board has afforded the residents of this community and the surrounding area with a jewel. Were it not for the progressive thinking of the 1934 board, a place of beauty and recreation would not exist in its current state. We give thanks to Mayor Carlson and his board and shall officially name this new structure the Carlson Community Center. This is dated September 8th, 2009. If anybody else would like to say anything, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, this will conclude our program, and please help yourself to some beverages and some snacks. Thank you.
you.